Do you know that an average professional spends 90,000 hours at their work? I have had the opportunity to work with David Packard, Bill Hewlett, founders of HP, Michael Dell, Steve Jobs, and John Chambers. I have learned a lot from these phenomenal leaders, and I would like to share with you now 6 mistakes that professionals should avoid. Mistake number 1, not having clear goals. See, goals are like Google Maps. You have to drive from your home 20-30 minutes. The first thing you do today is to set a destination on the Google map. But what about your life? Do you have Google Map for your life? And that destination is actually a goal. Everyone, whether you are 15 or 35 or 55, can improve their life significantly and do bigger and better things if they do 2 things. Aspire big and capture their aspirations through goals, and 2, become worthy of those aspirations by becoming the best version of themselves. Aspiring big is also a challenge. A lot of people have very hard time aspiring big when they are thinking about their goals. Let me give you 2 examples. Dilip Kumar, the Bollywood actor, was selling fruits in Bombay. He didn't aspire to have the largest fruit store in Bombay. He aspired to become a Bollywood actor. Take example of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He was a ticket collector in railways. He didn't aspire to become a station master. He aspired to play cricket for Indian cricket team. So aspiring big is difficult, but very important part of how you capture your goals. So every entrepreneur that I meet wants to create a unicorn. It is possible for people to aspire big and think big. I always say that future should not be decided by extrapolation of your past. It should be decided by the aspirations of the future. So the first mistake is not creating clear goals. Second mistake that professionals make is not engaging passionately. You should be person on a mission. You should be seen that way. I see in the offices people on Monday morning coming, no energy, no motivation. You talk to them and say, why is it this way? And they will tell you that they don't like their manager, or they don't like their team, or they don't like their company, or they don't like their project. That is fine. You still need to engage passionately with what you do. These problems are going to come and go. So you should be seen as a person on a mission. I always say, love what you do until you find something that you would love to do. Love what you do until you find something that you would love to do. Be obsessed with your goals. Be so passionate that you get obsessed with your goals. Let me share with you the science of passion. Passion is a force that actually helps you go through ups and downs. Here is how passion works. Our brain, human brain, has 2 parts. One that works on logic, and the other that works on emotion. The emotional part of the brain is actually much more powerful than the logical part of the brain. Although most of us use only logical part of the brain most of the time. How can I say that emotional part of the brain is more powerful? We have all cried in a movie, not because movie is bad, but because you got engaged in the movie and you were sort of crying in what was happening in the movie. You know that it's a fiction, you know it's not happening, you know that in 10 minutes movie will be over, but you are still crying. Why? Because the emotional part of your brain has become active and your logical part cannot actually control it. So you have to somehow find a way to engage your emotional part of the brain. Now, the emotional part of the brain does not listen to logic. It listens to emotion, and that emotion is passion. With passion, you can actually charge emotional part of the brain, your logical part is working anyways, and that is what creates phenomenal human being, where you become Aham Brahmasmi, and the whole universe aspires you and helps you to achieve your objectives. The third mistake that professionals should avoid is not thinking outside the box. It is extremely important for people to challenge the status quo, because only when you challenge the status quo and think outside the box, you come up with new solutions and new products. If you are an engineer working on a product, you may come up with new product ideas that are patentable. If you are a process engineer, you may invent a new process. So thinking out of the box is a very important skill that a professional should have. Let me give you an example from my life about goals, passion, and thinking out of the box. At the age 30, when I was working for Hewlett Packard, I gave myself a goal that I would like to become financially independent at the age of 40. I didn't have green card, I didn't have any money to do a startup, so how was I going to do it? But this is the power of goals. Through thinking hard, I came up with the idea that if I invent an instrument and license it to some company, I can become financially independent. And I was so passionately engaged with this idea that I would have a hard time sleeping even. But within a year, I developed an instrument which I licensed to a Boston company, and that instrument was a very, very successful product, and it helped me become financially independent. So thinking out of the box is a very, very important skill set. 4, not striving for excellence. See, world rewards excellence. Anybody you know outside your friends or family is probably because they have achieved certain level of excellence. Whether it is Amitabh Bachchan or Rahul Dravid or Lata Mangeshkar or anyone you want to talk about. Building excellence around the core competence that you have is extremely critical. How do you do that? Be engaged in constant self-evaluation and continuous improvement to become excellent in, again, your core competence. Have you heard of a 10,000-hour rule? 10,000-hour rule says that you have to work for 10,000 hours in a particular area to develop certain level of excellence. This means about 7 or 8 years of work life. But let me show you the magic of passion again. If you are passionately engaged in developing excellence, like you may have heard that Rahul Dravid, when he used to go for bathroom at night while sleeping, he would actually practice his strokes. That is how much engagement you have to have and passion you have to have. If you do that, you are actually thinking about your challenge 24/7, and then you complete your 10,000 hours in a year and a half. See the power of it? And in 3 or 5 years, you have experience worth almost 20 years. That is how you become a Rahul Dravid. Or when you hear that a 16-year-old graduated with a PhD from Stanford, or a 12-year-old who became Grandmaster of chess, these are examples of excellence. Closer to your home, the college topper that you had actually developed excellence. The best coder in your team is an example of person who has developed excellence. So developing excellence is very, very critical. The 5th mistake that professionals should avoid is not focusing on developing leadership skills. Many professionals think that leadership skills are only important for leaders or managers. That is not true. For everyone, leadership skills are very important. What do these skills contain? Leaders have big vision, they have high conviction, they win trust of their teams, they develop knowledge and skills to succeed, they communicate and motivate, and then execute well to get the results. All these skills are critical for everyone, not just for managers and leaders. Let me give you an example of Steve Jobs, who I got a chance to work with when I was working for Apple. Steve Jobs came to Apple as second time when Apple was in dire straits. And he focused on the first product after that was iMac. I was part of that team, and it was a proud moment when I got the poster of Apple which said, "Thanks to Vivek and team, we couldn't have done without you." Steve Jobs was phenomenal. Let's test these leadership skills on Steve Jobs. Did he have big vision? Yes. Did he have conviction? Tremendous conviction. Did he earn respect and trust of his people? Yes. Did he have knowledge and skills to create Apple in the company that he wanted to? Absolutely yes. And did he execute and create success? Yes. Apple today is one of the most valuable company in the world. So it's just not Steve Jobs. Every one of us have to develop leadership skills. The last important thing to keep in mind is not having mentors. Mentors are navigators who help us get to our destination. Mentors are knowledgeable, experienced people who help us get to our destination, who have actually been there and done that in the path that we want to travel. Indra Nooyi says, "I'm a product of my mentors." John Chambers says that he has been helped tremendously by mentors. In my own case, I have had 10 mentors throughout my professional life who have helped me succeed beyond imagination. This is why I wrote the book, Achieving Meaningful Success, because the book is actually a mentor and it can help people guide to their destination. In the end, I will just close by saying that to achieve something that you have never achieved before, you have to become someone you have never been before. So become the best version of yourself, avoid these 6 mistakes, and all the best for success in your career. Thank you.